J.D. Vance found himself on the defensive during a heated debate when asked about Donald Trump's 2020 election loss. Tim Walz's sharp question cut through the rhetoric, raising concerns about Vance's views on democracy and the future of election integrity. The debate took a pivotal turn when Tim Walz, addressing J.D. Vance, asked a pointed and simple question: did Trump lose the 2020 election? Walz's question came after a discussion on the 62 lawsuits filed by Trump and his allies challenging the election results, all of which had been dismissed in court. Vance, who has aligned himself closely with Trump, notably sidestepped the direct question, choosing instead to pivot towards other topics. "I'm focused on the future," Vance responded, attempting to steer the conversation to issues like inflation and affordable housing. He followed up with a counterpoint, asking if Vice President Kamala Harris censored Americans in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation, a move that Walz quickly criticized as a damning non-answer. The moment underscored Vance's reluctance to directly address Trump's defeat, a crucial point that many Democrats believe exemplifies the dangers they perceive in Trump's continued influence over the Republican Party. Vance's refusal to explicitly acknowledge Biden's victory in 2020, while highlighting broader grievances about alleged censorship, further fueled the notion that he and other Trump allies remain focused on undermining the legitimacy of the election process. Walz, seizing the opportunity, drew a stark contrast between himself and Vance, reminding viewers of the violence on January 6, 2021, when 140 police officers were assaulted as rioters stormed the Capitol. Walz emphasized that Trump refused to acknowledge the results of a Democratic election, and pointed out the deadly consequences of that refusal. "Sometimes you really want to win, but democracy is bigger than winning an election," Walz asserted, arguing that accepting electoral losses is fundamental to the survival of American democracy. Vance's stance on Trump's election loss has been a controversial point throughout his political career. Earlier this month, on the All In podcast, Vance revealed that if he had been in Mike Pence's position on January 6, he would have asked states to submit alternative slates of electors, an action that could have thrown the election into chaos and disregarded millions of legally cast votes. His comments suggest that Vance, unlike Pence, would have been willing to entertain Trump's baseless fraud claims in an unprecedented challenge to electoral norms. As Vance danced around direct answers, Walz pressed harder, painting Trump's refusal to concede as a clear danger to the nation's democratic principles. The debate became a litmus test for how much sway Trump still holds over the Republican narrative regarding the 2020 election, with Vance's evasive responses fueling the argument that Trump and his allies remain a threat to the peaceful transfer of power. In a debate that highlighted the growing divide over the future of American democracy, J.D. Vance's refusal to directly address Trump's loss and his suggestions about alternative electors underscore the lasting impact of the 2020 election. As Democrats continue to push the narrative that Trump and his allies are a danger to the democratic process, Vance's comments may only further embolden their case, especially as the 2024 election looms ever closer. Whether voters will see Vance's stance as a necessary defense of Trump or a threat to democracy remains to be seen.